Silent night, holy night.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
I know what a TV dinner feels like.
Come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs. These are very bad for you. Yeah, I'm still here. Unless you want to open the front door for me.
So I made quite a few builds for the Die Hard Summit Challenge, and they're all really good, but this one just happens to be my favorite. That's because Negotiators is pretty good for when you're running all these directives and ammo is an issue because we have ammo hoarders on. We also have scavenged skills, so you can't rely on your skills too much. That's the whole point about the Die Hard challenge, is that his resources are always limited and he's improvising along the way. I'm running Gunner for the 10% armor on a kill and also so that we can get some ammo regeneration. For the most part, it looks like he's running an MP5 in the first Die Hard, so an SMG is what we want to run as our secondary. Now it's a secondary because ammo is an issue and he's always sort of running out of ammo and is kind of working with what he's scrapping up, hence ammo hoarders. So I've decided to go with the apartment. The Lady Liberty is also a really good idea because he's from New York, and so that's just a really nice synergy with the character. Now my primary weapon is the Busy Little Bee, and it's absolutely amazing, and it's ultimately why I decided to go with the apartment. I'm having a blast. So I have made this build for regular heroic content or control point content outside of the summit, so stay tuned for the details of that build, but it's just a little bit different. But in here, as you can see, I'm running 4 armor cores for a total of 1.5 million armor, and we're playing off of the Negotiator's Dilemma hostile negotiations, and that's because that's basically what Bruce Willis is doing, right? He's negotiating with the terrorists who hijacked the skyscraper, and he's doing it in a very hostile way. And so that's why this gear set just synergized with the theme absolutely perfectly. But we also did True Patriot build, and we also did an improvised build. And so all three of those concepts do align. But I would love to see your guys' ideas. So don't be afraid to explore and have fun and just think about what he uses, what he picks up, what weapons along the way, even the C4 explosives and stuff like that. Okay, so hostile negotiations, I basically have armor and crit damage rolled on everything that I can. Armor and crit damage, and then weapon damage and crit damage, and weapon damage and crit damage. And then of course this gear set gives us another 40% crit damage on top of the 20% crit damage it gives us. So all in all, we're gonna be over 200% crit damage when using our SMG. And then the busy little bee is powering us up like crazy. And I really am starting the engagements with this and switching to it as much as possible, which is why the apartment is great, because the apartment is perfectly measured. So switching in and out of the apartment doesn't delete the talent. You're not proccing anything, right? So it's really nice because you're not losing any procs by switching over to your pistol. So very, very, very nice. And then I'm running the Bellstone chest, basically just to complement the survivability I'm getting off of my backpack. So this is giving me 1% armor regen, also playing into the armor that we have. And then I have headshot damage, crit damage, more crit damage, and obliterate. And so you can also run intimidate with this. I had a really good time running intimidate. It's very effective and fun to play off of. But I just so happened to have this chest piece with headshot damage and crit damage, and I wanted that extra headshot damage in here. The memento backpack is, we're definitely playing into the short-term buffs. The bonus armor especially, it's what's allowed me to go quickly and allow me to push through these floors as fast as absolutely possible. And so it's not just the bonus armor, but we are getting the bonus armor. It's 40% bonus armor. That's basically 600,000. What is that? Yeah, about 600,000 in bonus armor from a single trophy. So you'll see our armor go up massively. And that's important because these enemies are being a pain in the butt and you don't really have skills and you kind of want to move quickly. You really don't want to spend, 15 minutes on a single floor. Running and gunning is sort of the way I prefer to do this, but it's up to you. So we get also the weapon damage buffs when we pick those things up, the trophies, and then of course we get the skill efficiency. So skill efficiency is not really helping us a lot, but it does help the duration of both our status effects and our decoy. I actually prefer to run firewall with this, but I just kind of thought about it and just, some feedback that we got from the live stream. And it's just like, he's not really a shield guy, this Bruce Willis, right? Now he does play from cover, then he just kind of throws his body at the enemies a lot of times, right? And kind of starts duking it out with them. Obviously we can't do that. You can't look at the bloody knuckles if you want to play into that, but you're gonna need some sort of shield in order to get out of cover. So that's basically everything with this build, and I really love it. Let's take a look at the other builds. So this is probably going to be the fan favorite. And so one reason why it aligns with the Die Hard concept is because it's improvised. And if you remember, he was accidentally invited to the Christmas parties. First of all, he wasn't expecting to be there in the first place, let alone encounter a group of terrorists. So he's improvising along the way. And so that's why we went with improvise on this one. I decided to go for the coyote mask and then adrenaline rush, because that's basically what's pumping through his veins and keeping him alive is just adrenaline. So this is a really nice build for the theme. I decided to go with Bellstone. You don't absolutely need it, but it was kind of a safety belt. So we're getting 10% armor on kill from up there, and then we're getting another 10% armor on kill from the two-piece Bellstone, putting us ultimately to 20. And then we're getting a power up from Pack Instincts. We're getting the 25% crit hit damage because we're playing in that closer range. Notice I got crits everywhere and protection from elites. That's the equation. And again, 1.5 million armor. And adrenaline rush is basically always up, right? So we got the 1% armor regen. Don't forget about that from Bellstone. But adrenaline rush is always going up and down, which is amazing. And the uptime on Intimidate, it's actually pretty impressive, I gotta say. But we got crit damage on this Bellstone. I got a weapon damage here, but you can't put a blue cord, no problem. Intimidate. Then I got more armor regen and protection from elites, of course. And then all my improvised are crits and protection from elites. It's gonna be the same theme. And I do got some headshot damage rolls in here because I had the space to do it. So this build actually hits pretty hard. It's a really fun build. It's actually been a classic for me. I've been running this since, I don't even know, TU8 or something like that, with or without the Bellstone. The Bellstone came later, but I've been running protection from elites for a very long time. I really like this. I am missing a protection from elites mod here. I think that's what's supposed to be there. Well, what's our protection from elites? We'll see. It might be a crit damage. Or 65% protection from elites. So you can put protection from elites here, or you can put crit damage. Anywhere over 50% is good, but if you want to be tanky, 65% or higher is even better. When you encounter rogues, you can play completely out of cover. None of the elites are going to be an issue for you, so you can face tank them. Again, we're not running a shield, and our skills are down a lot because of Scavenged skills, so that's why these builds are very handy, because you don't require a shield. Tons of fun here. Notice I'm using the same weapon, perfectly measured, and then the busy little bee for all that extra damage, which is 20% damage for every stack that you get. But remember, any of your weapons, you can swap into any of these builds and be okay. So again, the Lady Death is probably a good alternate for this build as well. Here's the third build we created during the live stream, and I actually like this one a lot. Crits, this one's at 138%. We're max crit chance here, but this one also has, we got a little bit of that amp damage coming off of the red, white, and blue, and that's why a lot of people like to run this set. So we're getting 8% amplified damage, and then we're getting 2% repairs when we're shooting the enemy marked with a white flag, and then we got decreased incoming damage by 8%. And otherwise, I'm just basically running crits everywhere. So I got crits everywhere on this mask, and then the armor core. On the gloves, I have weapon damage and crit chance. Just make sure you get crit chance to max. And then same with the knees, it's crit damage, and then armor and crit damage on the whole serve. Now for the chest piece, I decided to go with Cheska so that I can get my crits up. I do have a protection from Elites mod there with Intimidate on this one, but go Obliterate if you like. And then I'm running the Bellstone backpack with Adrenaline Rush. And I did keep an eye on my Intimidate, and I'm really pleased with the uptime. Obliterate is also constantly timing out on you. So both of them are going to have some sort of downtime and some sort of uptime. And for me, they just felt really close to each other with the way we're playing. Fully critted out on this bad boy. I do have Firewall in here because I was using this in the open world, but I did like it with the Striker Shield, and I definitely recommend it. And for all three of these builds, I would recommend Firewall as the specialization with the Striker Shield, because that shield gives you incredible increase in damage. It scales to the threat, which is going to be 11% damage per enemy standing in front of you. And so you can have 2-3 enemies standing in front of you often, especially in heroic control points. You can have big old mobs standing in front of you, and that's just a ton of damage, and you can feel it. Outside of the Die Hard event, I definitely recommend running the Firewall specialization. That is #1 for me on all three of the builds, especially that Negotiators build. It was like major. I mean, our time to kill was absolutely amazing with Firewall. With Gunner, we got the armor on kill, and that's satisfactory too. Otherwise, I'm running the decoy. I'm running basically the decoy. For this event, you probably want to put on Gunner here, and in Gunner, you can get the Banshee Pulse, and it's pretty easy to get that Banshee Pulse back, because if you're just running around and killing people all the time, you're gonna need to get those little green Scavenged skill components. So that's the 3 builds that I have for you guys. I hope you really enjoy it and have fun with this event. And please share your ideas with me in the comment section below, and join Discord and post your builds. We'll have a little chat stream going for this event. Check out this epic gamer Christmas playlist.
Follow me.